Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Um, Today we're going to talk about Jesus is God made flesh. Is Jesus really God? Without a doubt. You have often heard the claim that Jesus is God, right? The second person in the Holy Trinity. However, the very Bible, which is used as a basis for knowledge about Jesus and as a basis of doctrine within Christianity, clearly believes this claim. We urge you to consult your own Bible and verify that the following conclusions are not drawn out of context, because I'm going now to say some point that I hope will lead you to the right path and make your way much better or more clearer than any other day. Anyway, number one, the first point that I have is God is all-knowing, but Jesus was not. When speaking of the day of judgment, Jesus clearly gave evidence of a limitation on his knowledge when he said, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father." That was in Mark 13, verse 32, and Matthew 24, verse 36. But God knows all. His knowledge is without any limitation. That Jesus, of his own admission, did not know when the day of judgment would be, is clear proof that Jesus is not all-knowing, and that Jesus is therefore not God. Now the second point, God is all-powerful, but Jesus was not. While Jesus performed many miracles, he himself admitted that the power he had was not his own, but was derived from God when he said, "Verily, I say unto you, the Son can do anything of himself, but what he seeth the Father do." That was in John 5, verse 19. Again he said, "I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear I judge, and my judgment is just because I seek not mine own will, but the will of the Father which has sent me." That was in John 5, verse 30. But God is not only all-powerful, he is also the source of all power and authority. That Jesus of his own admission could do nothing on his own is clear proof that Jesus is not all-powerful, and that therefore is not God. Now the third point, God does not have a God, but Jesus did have a God. God is the ultimate judge and a refuge for all, and he does not call upon nor pray to any others. But Jesus acknowledged that there was one whom he worshipped and to whom he prayed when he said, "I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God." That was in John 20, verse 17. He is also reported to have cried out while on the cross, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" That was in Matthew 27, verse 46. If Jesus were God, then couldn't this be heard as, "Myself, why hasn't thou forsaken me?" Wouldn't that not be pure nonsense? When Jesus prayed the Lord's Prayer, that was in Luke 11, verse 2 to 4. Was he praying to himself? When the Garden of the Gethsemane, he prayed, "O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt." Matthew 27, 36 to 39. Was Jesus praying to himself? That Jesus, of his own admission and by his own action, acknowledged, worshipped, and prayed to another being as God is clear proof that Jesus himself is not God. Now, the fourth point, according to the Bible, God is an invisible spirit, but Jesus was flesh and blood. While thousands saw Jesus and heard his voice, Jesus himself said that this could not be done with God when he said, "No man hath seen God at any time." John 1, verse 18. "Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape." John 5, verse 37. He also said in John 4:24, "God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, that Jesus would say that no one had seen or heard God at any time, while his followers both saw and heard him, is clear proof that Jesus was not God. Now the fifth point: no one is greater than God, and no one can direct him. But Jesus acknowledged someone greater than himself, whose will was distinct from his own. Perhaps the clearest indication we have that Jesus and God are not equal, and therefore not one and the same. Come again from the mouth of Jesus himself, who said in John 14, verse 28, "My Father is greater than I," when someone referred to him as good master in Luke 18, verse 19. Jesus responded, "Why callest thou me God? There is none good but one, that is God." This is actually, guys, for today, inshallah. I will finish with you another time. For now, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.